Do company DEI efforts support Black women and their career advancement? Hi, my name is Colette, and I created this channel as a safe space with you in mind. I help Black women to embrace new seasons of their lives with purpose and joy. So today, I want to talk about DEI. What does DEI stand for? DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. A recent article discussed why Black women are merely surviving the workplace versus thriving in the workplace. The article referenced a survey conducted by Every Level Leadership. The 2022 report titled Black Women Thriving found that despite their skill sets and expertise, Black women are not supported for promotions. So, why aren't Black women supported for promotions at work? We kind of talked about this in my last video. The study found that performance and promotions are two of the most racially biased processes within organizations. They found that only 33% of the Black women surveyed found that promotions were evaluated fairly. Only 33%. Only 39% agreed that reward and recognition are received for the good work that they performed. So when we're looking at 33 and 39, we're not even talking about even half of the women surveyed. Personally experienced this on a number of different occasions where I would be on a project, and I'm thinking particularly of the last project that I was on prior to leaving the hostile working environment that I was in. I was on a project and I was placed on an existing team. This team was charged with developing a statewide training. They were going to be cross training large groups of staff on a specific program. Now, I was placed on the project probably like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I think it was more like 2 weeks prior to when the first deliverable was to be done or completed. That means that the first group of employees were to be trained. Now, keep in mind that the group had been in place for some time. So after I got familiarized with what the deliverables were, what the established deadlines were going to be, I provided some back and some resources to the team. The main person who was going to be doing the training for that team and who also had expertise in the particular subject matter, in addition to myself, was going to be on vacation during this 2 week period, meaning that when this person returned to work, the first training was supposed to be ready to be delivered. Okay, so we had that 2 week period. So, anyway, I provided the information of some existing resources that apparently the team did not know about. And basically, it did allow the team to not have to reinvent the wheel. They could tweak some of the training modules to help roll this particular statewide training out in a timely manner. I also provided information and actually created many of the guides, many of the at a glance type things, many of the prerequisites and outlines. I spent the hours creating and developing those for the team. So I'm telling you this story because funny thing happened. When the first training was rolled out, the project manager of the team, who happened to be the training manager over the entire agency that I worked for, this person was like one of the managers, when she wrote up the accomplishments for our branch, meaning that she listed, hey, the team was able to provide this deliverable. This is how many people were trained. We were able to do this by this date. She named everyone on the team, including a person that she thanked for figuring out how to mute the Zoom. She listed everybody. Guess who she didn't list? She didn't list me. I looked at that paper. I said, well, wait a minute now. I did a few things. They actually are using my outlines. They're actually using my objectives that I had created. And I know you may say, Colette, it was a team effort. Why are you saying mine? Well, normally I don't say mine. If you're gonna list the team and just say the team, but you're gonna do individual names and you do individual shout outs, and then you don't put me in there. So me being me, I sent an email to everyone on the team. I congratulate them for their collective and collaborative efforts. And they, in turn, thanked me, but not the project manager. She never mentioned me. What she did is she went and told folks that I didn't want to be on the team and that I really didn't contribute to the team. And this got back to my then manager, who I discussed it with. I sent him all of the information, all the emails showing, hey, I created the objectives, and these were like pages. I want to say like 10 or 15 pages, detailing what the staff need to do, the procedures, detailing the prerequisites. Also, I sent emails detailing the conversations that I had with this project manager and the other people on the team. So then we get a call from this project manager's manager who asked me, well, Colette, did you do this, this, and this, and this, and that? And I pretty much sent her everything I sent my manager, which showed that based on my contributions and my efforts, even though I was placed on the team 2 weeks before the first deliverable was due, my efforts greatly assisted the team in reaching their goal. The next thing I know, an amended accomplishment, it was an accomplishment sheet that went out to all of the people in that particular branch, was submitted, and my name was included, but it was included from the project manager's manager. To this day, the project manager never said thank you, never mentioned me, never. But she mentioned a person who found mute on the Zoom. Say, Colette, why are you telling this long story? I'm telling this story because some of you Black women out there have experienced this. And you may be thinking, did that really happen? It happened. It absolutely happened. And it happens all the time. And this report bears it out. This report bears out that Black women, they are not getting the recognition for their work. What I have found in many cases is certain people, non-Black usually, they're called out individually, but then your efforts are talked about. Oh, it was a team effort. Okay, so that's how it rolls. That's how it works. So performance appraisals, many of the women, I think it was like only 33% said that they felt that they were evaluated fairly. That means, what does that mean? That means 67% said, no, the performance evaluations are not done fairly. So why is that important? Performance evaluations in many organizations and in many companies impacts your ability to get promotions. That's what they do. I have another story. You say, Colette, you got a lot of stories. I do. I had been placed on a 2-year assignment. And during that time, I still had my management classification, but I was in a more of a consulting manager's subject matter expert role for 2 years. And during that time, I did not report to my regular managers who I've mentioned in prior videos was harassing me and bullying me and discriminating against me. So the person that I was working for had mentioned that they were going to do an evaluation of my work that I had completed and done for them while I was working on this special project for 2 years. So he completed the evaluation and he actually, my boss, actually left the organization. So he left it for his boss or manager to give to me. Everything was completed. He told me he did it and actually gave me a copy, but said it, that his boss or somebody that she assigned it to would discuss it with me and give it to me. Well, a couple weeks passed by. Now he's gone to his new home. And I follow up with his then boss and say, hey, such and such completed an evaluation for me, a performance appraisal for me. And I was just wondering if somebody was going to be sitting down, or not even sitting down, if somebody going to be discussing it with me. She responded, we're not going to give it to you. We're not going to give you the evaluation. We're going to skip this year, and we're going to allow your current manager, who I, at this time, I had returned back to my prior job, reporting to the manager who was harassing me. So she said, we're going to let your existing manager pick up a new period and give your evaluation, your performance appraisal. And we're going to skip this year. That's what I was told. I have the email, all of it. It was a whole big thing. Okay. So why was that important? That was important because your performance appraisal goes in your personnel file. And for the organization that I work for, the government agency, it's called the official personnel file. We call it an OPF. So with this appraisal not being in there, nobody knows the work that I did other than what I tell them. And they don't know how I performed while I was reporting on my special assignment. She refused to give it to me. So she wanted my existing manager to give it to me. And she and I, my manager's boss, had a conversation about my current manager. And I had explained to her that I had been bullied, my career had been sabotaged, I had been blackballed. So she was aware. She was totally aware. Okay. So that's the decision that they made. So you say, Colette, okay, so the performance appraisal, what I was explaining is how your performance appraisals in many of these organizations can impact your promotions or your ability to promote. And your promotions, we know that can impact your wages, and not only your wages, but it impacts your ability to save for retirement or invest in retirement, your ability to save for maybe your child's education or what have you. Okay. So they're tied together. And yes, these things really did happen to me, and they do happen to other people. They really do. And I just want you to know that it is not something that is new. It is a part of a game that is played at very many levels in very many companies and organizations. The other thing that I want to point out is that access to opportunities is pivotal to promotional possibilities. And when I say opportunities, I mean developmental opportunities. The studies showed that Black women do not have access to coaching, to mentoring, to sponsorship, to developmental opportunities the same way as others. Sometimes developmental opportunities are referred to as stretch assignments because they help you to stretch your competencies and skills. I know that that happens. I saw it happen. When I returned to my regular job from my special assignment, I actually didn't return to my regular job. They put me in another, and that's a whole nother story and a whole nother video. We'll talk about that perhaps. But there was an opportunity coming up to be on special projects for some of the staff. And I noticed that at every meeting, the only staff that were being recommended were non-Black staff. It was every other race, but non-Black staff. I mentioned Black staff who had been at the organization longer and who had been with the program longer and had served as subject matter experts on other projects. And initially, I was told, well, this other person was this, this, and this, and this, and that. And, honestly, I had gotten to a point where I was like, you know what? These people didn't sabotage my career. They have blackballed me. They've done everything they could to me. It don't matter. And I would have done it anyway. I'm going to push back on this. So I brought out the facts. hey, this person did this person did that, this person did this, and this, and this. There was a little pushback. Then you know what they said? Well, Colette, we have to move quickly on this. And the person you're proposing is on vacation right now. So we don't even know if she's interested in this position. So we really need to move forward. I said, oh, where's the cell phone number? I can call him. I could call him and ask her if she's interested in the position. And they were like, well, it's moving quickly. What have you? I said, oh, I could text right now. So that stopped everything. The point I'm making is these opportunities come around and they do exist. And most of the time, Black women do not have anyone in the room at the table advocating for them. They do not. And that's just a fact. For most of these assignments and promotional opportunities, nobody Black was considered. And that's a fact. So I explained that I would be pushing back and I would be elevating this type of behavior of excluding Black people from these type of assignments. So to answer the question, do company DEI initiatives benefit or support Black women and their career ascension? Unfortunately, the answer is they do not. Most of them, they're just window dressing, and they are just put out there, just kind of performative type of initiatives with no meat, no basis, no standard, and no real intent for change. The report does provide suggestions on what companies can do. And I'm going to just be real. I'm going to keep it 100% real. These companies know this. They just don't care, right? They don't care. I'll link both the article and the report in the description box below. In the meantime, I encourage you to make some assessments about what you feel will enhance your work-life balance and your overall job satisfaction. What will make you thrive? What does that look like to thrive in the workplace versus just surviving? I know what it's like to just survive and be an autopilot where you just shut down, right? You're just there. You're going through the motions. You've checked completely out. I've been there. I've done that. I've got the medical bills to show it. I got pictures of the lost hair to show it. I know what that's like. And we're not even talking about dealing with pervasive discrimination. One of the things that I encourage you to do is to take an assessment. Ask yourself some questions. Do you feel valued by your current employer? Do you have access to developmental or promotional opportunities? Do you feel that your employer is making an effort to improve its diversity and inclusion, like an earnest, honest answer? Are they trying? And if they are trying, have you seen any results? If you answered no to any of these questions, you might want to consider or reevaluate your continued employment with your organization. You might want to think about it. Now, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job without making a plan, without preparing, without doing due diligence. I'm not going to tell you to do that. What I am going to say is that you deserve to work at an organization that makes a seat for you at the table. And not only make a seat for you at the table, they value what you bring to the table because you bring some stuff. You bring some stuff and you have some stuff. Are you valued? You deserve to be valued. You deserve to go to work and have joy. It doesn't mean you like every task that you do. It doesn't mean that you perform every task with a big smile. Doesn't mean that. It just means that you don't dread going to work every day. You don't dread opening the door. You don't have to push your feelings down on a daily basis. You don't have to ignore microaggressions. You don't have to fight every day to get recognized for the things that you do. You don't have to fight to get a fair appraisal of your performance. That's what thriving means. That's what it means. And you deserve that. You absolutely do. If you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, give it a like. I really, really would appreciate it. If you want more material or content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I upload a video. Until the next video, I just want you to remember that you are valued. I value you. And hey, even though your employer may not be acting like they value you, they know you the business. They know you the truth. And I do too. Talk soon.